let's talk cricket. Hi, I'm Roshan Abeysinghe. Welcome to our first show, Let's Talk Cricket. Today, I'm at a unique place. It's called the Kamimaki Japanese Fusion Cuisine. We're going to talk about Sri Lanka's magnificent performance in that first test match where Kusal Perera virtually won it for Sri Lanka.
4 more runs required.
He does it! He absolutely does it! One of the greatest innings you'll ever see from a Sri Lankan at 150. What a historical day here at Durban.
What a win it was. Outstanding. Now, I know that you've gone through it, you've seen what happened, but let's try and pick on a few interesting areas and some key areas that the game really tilted towards Sri Lanka. Now, let's also look at the background of where Sri Lanka came from. Now, after losing a series against England at home, then you go to New Zealand, never expected to win because the New Zealand conditions weren't ideal. We know that it is seam and swing. You lose a series there, 1-0 after a good game. Then you go to Australia, you get bombarded, you get hit on the body, and then you're virtually physically questioned, challenged. And then you come to South Africa totally demoralized and not at all settled. In South Africa, let's take a look at the team. Where was the captain? Chandimal dropped. He's not even there at number 3. You have a new captain. You don't have your main fast bowlers, Chamira and Kumara. So 2 others gone. Angelo Matthews, your best batsman, he's gone as well. So it's a struggling team. Let's not forget, it's a struggling team. Now that's where Sri Lanka starts, and South Africa, statistically, the South African seam attack is supposedly the best ever. Vernon Philander, Steyn and Rabada are statistically even better than some big names of yesteryear. Wasim Akram, Waka Yunis, Malcolm Marshall, even Alan Donald. You can talk about the list, these guys are right on top. So that's where Sri Lanka started. I thought 235 was a little bit too much when you had South Africa down in the dumps, catchers missed, and the Sri Lankan bowling a little bit inexperienced. And then when Sri Lanka were out for 191, I felt writing was on the wall. It was never going to be easy chasing down that score. But there were some really memorable moments as far as Sri Lanka was concerned in the game. 5 wickets, the last 5 wickets for 9 runs was exceptional. I mean, you couldn't have expected anything like that from Ambuldennia, the left arm spinner, in his first test match, and Vishwa Fernando. You know, in cricket, it's very important that the momentum goes with the side, and I thought at that point the momentum was swinging. When Sri Lanka had to chase down 304, what Sri Lanka needed was good partnerships. 42 runs for the first wicket, but then the unimaginable, unthinkable happened. 2 wickets at the same score. Then Kusal Mendis gets out. Then a partnership. Then what happens? 110, you lose 2 more wickets. You're 110 for 5. Then you pass the 200, then you lose 2 more wickets. So it was never going to be Sri Lanka at 227 for 9. Now that's where a man by the name of Kusal Perera put his hand up. It was an amazing innings, and I think it should rank as one of the best played by a Sri Lankan batsman. I've seen many innings. I've seen many really good innings. I can recall Aravinda De Silva's 100 in that 96 World Cup. But this was special. And at a certain stage of the game, I felt that the momentum was with Sri Lanka. And I thought when there were 30 runs to get, that Sri Lanka were going to win. You know why? You take the second new ball and you don't attack Kusal Perera. You have your entire field spread out. You don't have a slip for the new ball. And that tells you a story. That's the panic situation. Now the South African captain had 2 options. Either you go for it at both ends, look to dismiss both batsmen or one of the batsmen and try to win, or play the waiting game. Now what the South African captain did was he played the waiting game, which was perfect as far as Kusal was concerned. Most captains make a mistake. Just go back and analyze the famous victory in 2004 when Sri Lanka beat England at Headingley of the second last ball. That's exactly what the English captain did. And Alistair Cook didn't attack Angelo Matthews, and he got a big 100. Sri Lanka won. Here they did not attack Kusal Perera, just allowed him to breathe, and Vishwa Fernando held up his end. So outstanding victory. I have no words to explain it. It was truly magnificent. Sri Lanka going to the next test. The best they could hope for at St. George's Park is a draw. You draw, and only England and Australia, believe it or not, have beaten South Africa in a test series in South Africa. So Sri Lanka almost on the verge of creating history. But having said that, what about that video? What about that video that went viral? I'm just wondering whether that was a way of the Sri Lankan team trying to catch the attention of other things that is happening around them. But I think it's worth to listen to what the Minister of Sports, Harin Fernando, said. Because after all, the dressing room is their own thing. Dressing room is their own environment. And they are free to express themselves. And we've been told that the guy who filmed it is someone who doesn't understand Sinhalese, so he wouldn't know what he said. So I think you need to pay attention and listen to what Harin Fernando says. I certainly endorse it, and I'm hoping that this will not in any way cause the Sri Lankans to do badly in the second test. Well, that's it as far as Let's Talk Cricket. Now it's time to have some food. Follow Let's Talk Cricket on Facebook and on YouTube, and don't forget to like, subscribe and share.